I'm the bad Brad McDonald. I'm fighting out of Modesto, California, and I train with the Last Stand fight team.
Francisco Rivera, fighting out of Moreland Park, California.
I love Muay Thai. I do Muay Thai Jiu-Jitsu. If this guy wants to stand with me, I'll knock him out using my Muay Thai, using my strikes. And it'd be pretty stupid if he takes me down, so I'll submit him real quick, make it an easy night for me.
He's cocky, he's young, and he's aggressive, and I know he likes to put on a show here in his hometown.
I got some more of a drive. I want this more than ever. He had both of his chances, WC and UFC. Here's my chance, and he's going to blow his third chance.
And the whole age difference doesn't matter. I think training a lot, training with different people, not taking too much time off, and having fights once every 2 or 3 months should help me in this fight.
Blood. I want a bloody fight, man. I want a bloody fight.
I'm very explosive. I'm very aggressive. My first 4 fights were knockouts in under a minute. After that, they just kept trying to take me down, a bunch of wrestlers. So I hope Brad does. I hope he wants to stand and bang with me like he says, and he has in all his other fights. So.
Francisco Rivera, 5-2, fighting out of Buena Park, California. He is a veteran of the Ultimate Fighting Championship and WBC promotions. He makes his Hockey Palace debut tonight. He's been in there with the likes of Eric Koch and Ruben Durant. Rivera takes the cage tonight for the second time in 2011 and still looking for his first win of this year. He's going to have to knock Rockwell down. Plain and simple. He knows what works well for fighting against Brad McDonald. Trying to take him down, force him to his back, don't let him strike with you, and try to shut down his submission attempt. Not terribly unlike his brother Mike. They both admit, wrestling, we're getting there. We hit hard, we have great grappling. I'm sure they hate hearing about their defensive wrestling so much, but we reviewed Brad McDonald, and he understood why. He knows that he needs to be able to show him to be better. Francisco Rivera has to sell him that takedown, set it up, use those skills that he's honed under Eric Paulson and try to stick him to the mat, keep him there, and potentially tap him out. In that interview that we did earlier today, Phil, Brad said, no one can stand with me. If I can stand on my feet, I will beat you down. Francisco Rivera definitely needs to get that takedown because really, a good stand-up game means nothing if you can't stay safe.
A good stand game is 0 when you're on your back. You can't have strike gas on your back, so you need to work on your feet in defense if you want to go into stand-up game.
Francisco Rivera has had his time in the Ultimate Fighting Championship and the WBC. He will try to get back on the winning track. You know, everyone is talking about Brad McDonald. I think there has to be a chip on Francisco Rivera's shoulder because, again, he's still a prospect, but he's getting overlooked by a lot of people because Brad McDonald is the brother of UFC fighter Michael McDonald.
Yeah, what you do in this situation is try and flip the switch. They'll get to talking about me. When they're talking about your opponent, it's also, an opportunity to open some eyes with an upset victory.
Brad McDonald, 9-1, fighting out of Oakdale, California. Again, the brother of UFC bantamweight stand-up Michael McDonald. Brad is quickly putting together a mixed martial arts resume. Will show that the world that there is more than one McDonald brother that is getting things done. He has that record 9-1. And Brad will use his arsenal of strikes and maybe even submissions to get the job done. We did see him win by armbar last time out. Brad McDonald probably loves to get out of his brother Michael's shadow, even though, as usual, his brother right there in the corner. So there's something to be said for Brad McDonald, perhaps like being able to ultimately live up to what people want him to be as good as his brother. The fact is, as you saw in Michael McDonald's last outing winning knockout of the night in the UFC, he's a high-level, 135-pound prospect that is bound to the top 10. A guy that one day, and probably not one day that's that far away, fight for the UFC's bantamweight title. But Brad McDonald just hasn't come along as quickly. The same kind of skills are there. You could generally describe them in the same way. He doesn't have enough polish, doesn't have as much skill as his brother. He's going to have to find a way to step up his shadow, do his own thing, and become a more effective mixed martial arts. And it might start, as you mentioned, with being able to sprawl and brawl and keep it around. Looking at the tail of the tape, the biggest difference is in age. Brad McDonald, 18 years old, Phil, a young kid fighting in mixed martial arts. What does that, say for him? Again, he's a young fighter, but he still needs to think. He still needs to mature a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes the age younger is a big advantage. Not when you're 18. Not when you're 18. Probably need to always horse's man stand.
He loves to hear about it, though. This is a guy who's years old and had to listen to people say, "What? You're going to fight?
Got no
Son,
hair
you're
on
going
your
to get
armpits."
Yeah, son, you're going to get hurt." People looking at his family and his training saying, "What are you people thinking? Letting this child go into the cage?" Well, worked pretty well for him at 9-1, and quite frankly, with a big win, might be joining his brother in the octagon, trying to prove that the Diaz brothers aren't the only brother duo in the 209. I was just going to ask that. His win over Francisco Rivera, should he get it enough to catapult him to a big show? It is a UFC veteran. I think ultimately it might be back for him to continue to fight in venues like this throughout 2012, keep working on his game, but to all his talk, you know, if you
But when
want to...
you're young, you never want to do that. You want to be pushed to the big fight, the big show right away. So you don't take your time. Hopefully, as a right-hander with the best, the right move, it will guide him.
UFC matchmaker Sean Shelby might be watching this one very closely. Let's go to Joe Martinez for our official introduction.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our next subtraction, 3 rounds scheduled at a cap weight of 138 pounds. Your referee in charge of the action inside the cage, Jason McCoy. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Muay Thai style wrestler. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. Weighing in 138 pounds, he brings a professional record, standing 5 victories and 2 defeats. Fighting out of Buena Park, California, here is Francisco Rivera. And next is the opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. His style, Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. Also 5 feet 8 inches tall. He too weighed in 138 pounds. As a young professional, he brings an outstanding record, 9 victories and just 1 defeat. Fighting out of Oakdale, California, here is Bad McDonald.
Referee Jason McCoy giving this assignment for the catchweight affair. Brad McDonald taking on WEC and UFC veteran Francisco Rivera. 2 men touch gloves, and we are underway. Should have amended my earlier statement. Perhaps not fair to the McDonald brothers a duo as their oldest brother, Justin Smitley, also a trio.
You guys are throwing.
Brad McDonald says he will bring the fight every time. Francisco Rivera said that he would stand with Brad, and Brad doubted him. So far, Rivera trying to reciprocate some stand-up action. What a sitting back kick.
Rivera was very content to stand and throw hard stuff back at him. Ooh, over the top right hand by
It's nice to see some attempts to call your bluff. Wolf. Oh, he's done. Wow. I think that's calling a man's bluff. Yeah. Brad McDonald said no one can.
That's my boy right there.
I think he just found out the contrary.
Rivera came into the ring with a chip on his shoulder.
Don't fuck with him. Don't fuck with him.
Made a statement.
He took that chip off his
That's
shoulder.
my boy.
Brad McDonald's chin. He
Yeah,
is
what?
not in a great state. His family.
What's wrong? You got embarrassed, bitch?
McDonald was, joking before the fight with his corner, smiling. Rivera had a disgusting look
That's how
on his
you're
face,
supposed to fight.
Margarito.
That's how he fought his very first fight.
He ended the fight.
We talked about a 2-fight losing streak for Francisco Rivera. Here it is. Brad McDonald overcommitted to that kick down and paid for it.
Yeah,
Not too much more brutal than that. It's some brutal cough and nails to finish. Francisco Rivera might have earned himself a second for his Super Duty if Sean Shelby was looking around. And Brad McDonald, as you mentioned, has to go back to the drawing board. Here it is again. Big left hand followed by a right. Brad McDonald's hurt. You can see how carefree Brad McDonald is. Watch what he does with his left hand. What's he trying to do? It looks like he's trying to throw almost like a Uriah Faber back fist or back elbow. Instead of putting his hands up, he put them out and gave himself no defense. He essentially allowed Francisco Rivera to smash him in the face. So throwing caution to the wind, not the best recipe. In this instance, Francisco Rivera making, as Phil said, a bit of a name for himself, flipping that switch, and that was quite a flip switch. A knockout comes from Francisco Rivera. Let's throw it up to Joe Martinez to get the official time.
40 seconds. Round number 1. Referee Jason McCoy calls a halt to the bout. Your winner by KO victory, Francisco Rivera.
Francisco Rivera may very well have punched his ticket maybe back to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We talked about the age, Phil, though. Brad McDonald's going to go back and learn from this loss.
He's got to. There's no other choice. He's got to not make that mistake again. You know, be a little more cautious when you're in there. Don't be so confident. You know, anything can happen.
And then we made the reference to Uriah Faber, a guy who first lost his career, knocked out by Tyson Griffin throwing a big Superman punch. Second lost his career, knocked out by Mike Thomas Brown throwing a no-look back elbow. If you want to be flashy, if you want to go for the highlight reel pizzazz, you have to learn how to control it and land it accurately and not get yourself hurt. Because with 4 ounces, you screw up once, it's memes for you. A tough loss.